Okay, so now we are going to talk about a very interesting area, and that area is interesting because many people ask what happens if I do this or that, if I want to do this or that with Infinity and the wallet. And I think there are many different thoughts that of course are also being carried around the community, and the question is, what can we offer? Again, ladies and gentlemen, our community, people who thought about it, really came up with great ideas, and we're founding an academy. That course of study already started, and these people are already working on it. So you can look forward to having a so-called blockchain academy in the future, and that is also something that derived from our community and also from professional people. Of course, again, we need the so-called connection, a connection that really gives us an indication to a specific person, and somebody knows somebody else who knows someone who knows what we need. But what it's all about is what Stefan is going to tell us. So Stefan, please tell us about this new topic, and then you probably also have something very special for us. Okay, great. So hopefully everybody had a great break. Today is a very emotional day. Today is also a very innovative day, and I think today we showed very clearly what's possible if the community is involved, and if we work on projects together, and if we share the same vision, and we push this project forward together. And I'm always very surprised myself how very young people are involved. 17 years old, we just saw that on stage. It's fantastic what they have achieved and what they're doing. And it also shows very clearly where this journey is going to take us. And what is a very important point for me, or what was a very important point for me today, is that quite a while ago, so I think it was in December when we stopped, when we then continued again, so we stopped to actively develop the community, and that continued on later on. Like I said, we started with 27,000 people, now we're more than 40,000 people, and it was always all about communication. Is somebody doing something, or is this whole project something that we forgot about? So I do think we showed very clearly today that even if communication is not happening sometimes, there are reasons for that, because sometimes we have to focus on the project and we don't have a lot of time to communicate with you. So what is being communicated is definitely going to be traveling through different channels now, and we hope that in the future that is just going to trickle through to you by way of our newsletter, with our groups, and so on. So we are going to try to have better communication with you, with our communities. On the other hand, I'm also asking for your understanding, because each day only has 24 hours, and that is a time frame that we continuously use to provide you with new things. Most of us are working 24 hours a day, and we are there for Infinity Economics. We work 24/7, and sometimes we even work in our sleep. And we are driving this project forward because it's not a project that financially was important to us. No, it was a project that was important in order to create an alternative for everyone. And I do think that step by step, we can actually make it. So it very slowly becomes clear what direction we're going to take. And I do think that Xin is still just a way of payment, but just a little bit. I think what became very clear today, something that has to be repeated quite a few more times, is that the economy is what's important. That's the heart. That's the brains of our operation. I think we're going to do some prep work for that. We are going to have an academy, as Norbert already said. We're going to create this academy, and we're going to have global speeches, not in order to sell Infinity Economics, but to just make people aware of it and train them, and also just show the differences to current options that are available right now. And of course, that also makes it where we can make people aware of our platform. And now I would like to ask Marcus on stage. Many of you probably already know him. Thank you, Stefan. Yeah, okay, so Marcus is going to tell you about the ideas about this economy and these blockchain speeches that you're going to be hearing in the near future, and they're going to be global speeches. So he's going to tell you more about it, and maybe we're going to have a couple people who might also want to be part of that. So enjoy. No, it's not as easy as that, because that was his final word. And is that even possible? Well, Stefan, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your work, for your trust in us, and also thank you very much for what you've created. I do think that you really created a genius future for many, many people. So thank you very much from all of us. Okay, fantastic. If I think about what's going to happen in a year's time, Stefan, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of things. So, Marcus, thank you very much for making yourself available to us very briefly. And I think it's a very important factor that we need to talk about our academy. And if Stefan already told us, it's really not about only having an academy. It's really about the path of Infinity Economics and our future. But it's also very clear that we really want to share our knowledge. However, not in a way that we try to sell Xing, but that people come to us and they know that economics and the economy is something very, very strong. And again, this is global, and we thought about it on a global level, and we're very much looking forward to hear about your academy. So please tell us. So hopefully you all recognized what kind of technology is behind our blockchain. So over the past few weeks and months, we were criticized quite a bit. We didn't work on the blockchain very much. They didn't get any information. But like you said, in the background, we were working on it very, very much so. And one thing is 100% sure, then we're going to only publish it, And we're doing that on days like today, like November 11th. So few of us, we were 12 people. We took a journey. We went to Costa Rica. And we were in the Dominican Republic, we went to Warsaw, and we also went to Miami twice, and we had the possibility to gather quite a bit of information about the technology of our blockchain and why our technology is state-of-the-art. So now the idea came up to create this academy where we're going to try to really make sure that you all have the same knowledge base, because there's no point if 10, 20, or 50 people are very, very excited about it and know what kind of technological options our platform is offering, but what we want is that we all have the same amount of knowledge. And I think it's very important, because that way everybody can sort of build their own perception that we have something that's completely unique, and that we are dealing with a very revolutionary technology today. And I'm sure we are also going to be part of a development that we can't imagine today. We already heard a couple different examples today, Nokia cell phones and smartphones today. Those were the first steps, and then also the first steps on the internet, and our blockchain offers us so many different possibilities. And by way of this economy, what we want to do, and by the way of this academy, we want to really have these seminars all over Europe or even all over the world to really tell you about the advantages of blockchain. So in this context, I would also like to ask a complete pro on stage That's Mr. Ed Rowland. And he also developed a strategy. He's a person who has worked for big 500 companies, he did big campaigns, and he also is a guest lecturer at big universities. And he developed a very great idea how we can really show people that we don't only have gold here, but platinum. So what we have here is something that has never been there before. Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me here today. I had quite a bit of time because I was told this morning that I'm going to be on stage. So this is very much short notice. And I just thought, what? So I don't want to give a big speech, but I just want to very briefly explain to you in a metaphor. So when Christopher Columbus in 1492 started sailing, it was a big thing. But 2 years later, many people said, oh, what he's doing, I can do that as well. And that way he was criticized quite a bit. And he brought all these people together and he said, okay, just do it. So nobody was able to do that. And he said, okay, let's put an egg on the table and you just have to make it stand up straight. So nobody was able to do it. They cracked all the time and he showed them how to. And then he said, well, now you know how to do it because I showed you how to do it. And that's exactly the point. That's exactly the point when it comes to knowledge. I guarantee that 99% of people, if they work with somebody who's very knowledgeable, with me, for example, when it comes to marketing, they would all say, wow, Ed, it's amazing what you can do. You're a genius. You're the best at that. And 3 to 4 months later, if you see everything that I've done, somebody else is going to say, well, Ed, you know what? You're a genius. And you're going to say, well, I can do that myself. So, of course, at that point in time, I would like the first one better because they're going to think I'm a genius. But if you know how to do something, then you can do it as well. You can replicate it. And what we're doing or what we want to do and what we have to do is we have to share knowledge. And, yeah, if you want to improve, sharing knowledge is the best thing. And we want for people to understand how blockchain works, how these technologies work, but also how marketing and also many other things work. And that way they're in a position themselves to market themselves in a very professional manner. And that we're going to have top professionals and people can say, wow, these people from Infinity, they know how to do it. They are top people because they gave us the right training. We know how to put up that egg on a table like Columbus did. And that's exactly the point. So again, we can see that there are so many people in the background. We have so many projects that were prepared and that we're also carrying out now. And everybody that has new ideas, you should just approach us because we can always collect all these ideas and make something out of it. We are a community. We're responsible for ourselves. So we have a toolbox. Everybody has a toolbox, and now it's up to us. It's up to us to make Infinity Economics big, and we should really try our very best. And one of those things that we can do is our academy, and I'm very, very excited that we have this great amount of people here. And so many great people actually showed up today, and hopefully you all developed a feeling that you're at the right place at the right time, and that we're not just 3,000 jump and dump people, but we have a technology that is going to really lead us to a digital economy in the future. So thank you very much to everybody. Thank you. Okay, now that was a very interesting story. What is happening today specifically, and also what's going to happen in the future. All right, so again, we just have to think about, okay, we have to understand, how do companies find Infinity? How can I make it that I get to know Infinity? And what would that possibility look like if we had something like a phone book? And this phone book, ladies and gentlemen, is something that I'm going to show to you now. So you already saw these banners up here, the business directory, and this business directory, this phone book is going to be introduced to us by one person, a man that you have seen in the background multiple times, and you've heard of him very often. You've seen multiple movies with him, and you've also seen many different presentations by him. And today he is going to be live on stage. Thomas, please.
Jetzt muss ich erstmal durchschnaufen.
Yeah, now I'm going to have to take a deep breath. So this is the first time that I'm talking in front of so many people, because at home, to be honest, when I shoot videos in my little tiny room, everything is very easy. However, now everything is shaking. I'm nervous. All right, so first of all, I would also like to welcome everybody at home as well who's watching via live stream. So maybe you can also share Infinity all over this world and like and give it a heart and so on. So please make it where we really have lots of strength behind Infinity and we can carry it all over the world. So just very briefly about myself as a person. So I'm going to try if this works. All right. My name is Thomas Höfemeyer. I'm 52 years young. I'm just like you. I'm a community partner of Infinity Economics. I don't have any programming knowledge. I am just a user. And what I'm going to present to you now, I believe that 70 to 80% of the community participants can do that as well. So Stefan approached me and said, can you shoot a video where we can show step by step how we implement a service on the Infinity Economics platform? So I said, Stefan, no problem at all if I know how to do it. So at that point in time, there were some conversations. There were several people who took part in that conversation. And the idea came up that we said, we're going to start with the business directory. So now I forgot what I was going to say. Hold on. Now I remember. All right, just very briefly. Like I said, I know about crypto since 2014. That's when I learned about it for the very first time. And that was the year when Bitcoin cracked the $1,000 mark. So for several months, it was going down quite a bit. And I do remember vividly that there were different press releases that said that this is the death of crypto. This is also the death of Bitcoin. And as you read press releases, you think, okay, so what is going on? So this was just a brief hype or whatever, and you really don't focus on it all that much because you might not have the right people by your side who can explain this topic to you, maybe also because you are part of your own projects where you have to put a lot of focus on because you don't have time to look into new things anymore. So one thing that definitely happened way back then with me was that the seed was planted. Oh, that's a bit slower. Okay, now I see it. So there was the seed that was planted, and the topic of crypto is a topic that I was very much interested ever since then. I stuck with it, and I then gained some knowledge, which is what Ed just said earlier, that we really have to be responsible for ourselves, and we have to get that information ourselves. So if we now have a platform or an academy, that's amazing for everybody, because this rocky path that we had to go down, each and every single one of us, some maybe more than others because they weren't able to invest a little bit more time, but that is knowledge that you had to gather yourself. However, in my situation, like I said, the seed was planted, and today I know that when it comes to crypto, it's not only about the possibility to just simply and securely transfer money from A to B. through different continents, but it's really about the technology behind it. That's the blockchain technology. So at this point in time, I can tell you that I'm very happy and very thankful that in 2016, I found my way to Infinity Economics, to the most modern blockchain technology that's available in the market. And what we see here is our blockchain technology. We have many different features, as you can see. Some of the features are fully functioning. They're available to us. Some of them are under development. They're in the testing phase right now, in the final steps, actually. And some of these features are already in the visionary thoughts of our future. They're already implemented there, or they're supposed to be implemented. So what we've done is we are using some of these features and connect them. And the question was, how can you do that? And we implement this first service step by step, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. So before I continue, I would like to say thank you. I would like to say thank you, first of all, to the foundation that we don't know. I do think that I'm speaking from the hearts of many of our community partners, so I'd like to thank the foundation and also the core developers who made all this possible, what we saw earlier. Because this kind of technology can only be provided by Infinity. So I would also like to take this opportunity to thank a woman. A woman who cooked many meals that I wasn't able to eat, or I ate them when they were cold. There was lots of tension in our house because we're working on a project and we had to focus on it very much. And I would like to thank you, my dear, for not kicking my ass to the curb. But now I would like to show you how you can implement a service as well. And I prepared in a way because I knew I'm going to be very, very nervous. I prepared a video. And this video is available in 2 languages right now, German and English. And you can use this video to start your work. And you can say, okay, I'm going to take these steps, the steps that we took for our business directory and to implement it in our blockchain. And you can just take it step by step and copy it. And if you do that, you might also on your path create some ideas. And we have a very great group here who came together. They created some ideas themselves, and we can then say, okay, we're just gonna do it. And I'm going to show you that now by way of this short video. Hello and welcome.
Alles beginnt mit der Vision. Und dazu haben wir das Project IE Local, dem Business Directory von Infinity Economics, anfänglich ein Brainstorming durchgeführt und alle möglichen und wichtigen Punkte und Fragen notiert. Fragen wie zum Beispiel, welchen Mehrwert kann ich der Community bringen? Wir haben viele Punkte zusammengetragen, die einen Mehrwert für Service der Community bringen. Hier auch ein paar Beispiele von Fragen,
So here are a
welche wir
couple
auch
examples
berücksichtigt
of
haben.
questions
Zum
that we also
Beispiel,
considered. For
welches
example,
Problem oder
what kind of
Bedürfnis
problem
möchte ich
or
lösen?
need would I
Was
like to
möchte ein
fix?
Community-Mitglied?
What would a community
Was
member
bringt ein
like?
Service Infinity-Nutzern?
what benefits do I create for service companies? What kind of added benefit can we offer? Another thought was, how can we also implement recommendations, and how can every individual person profit from that? And we thought about that, and we also thought about implementing a partner program and also a mobile app. So once we collected all these thoughts, you should then write down the idea. The project you want to implement should be staffed with as many details as possible, and the software company, the IT company, has to recognize exactly what your goal is and what you want from them, and then maybe also prep a short presentation. And then we have another important point, the important point being that programming and solutioning the software is very important. What you have to pay attention to, there were 4 sub-points that we considered. First of all, the server. So first of all, you have to think of a server where you really can implement the node for Infinity Economics and also the server. And then you should also discuss this with the IT company. For our project, we chose a server from Server for You. The second point is the domain name. In order to be able to be found online, you need a domain name. If you don't have a domain name so far, you're going to have to get one. There are a range of different suppliers online, and that is also something that the IT company can do for you. Point 3 was about selecting the software. So you should find some programmers who understand Node.js or AngularJS. In addition to that, they also have to be in a position to install a database on a server. So either MongoDB or MySQL. Point 4. Scheduling. So after the pre-selection, you have to have a scheduled appointment with the programmer and also the project manager to discuss all the details and then make an offer. What's very important is that the programmers need to understand the blockchain idea of Infinity Economics. So refer them to a page, the page of the API interface and also the docs where all the features of our company are described. Then controlling is very important. After we got the offer, we then did some controlling. We checked whether or not all the details we discussed were implemented. And then we registered the domain. We ordered the server, and then we sent out the order. Now I would like to show you an example so that you can implement your own service into the blockchain. So this is the business directory for the members of our Infinity Economics. So we noted down a couple different points. For example, what kind of target groups do we have, and so on. And also, what is our goal with IE Local, which is the directory. So we want transparency. So the question was, how can we have a decentralized platform and have more transparency to create trust in our community? What kind of data can I use for assets, for crowdfunding, and so on, in order to understand serious companies? And that was our #1 priority, our target group. So who can profit from our server? So in order to do that, we really looked at the company, at our customer, or also an association or a foundation. So for companies, i.e. Local can help companies to extend their business in the crypto area. So we are going to help you with your company, your currency, and also assets, and make it shine. And by way of doing that, we're making it where your business is in #1 spot, and also your community partners. So this is really the right business for your need. i.e. Local can also help you when it comes to assets and currencies, and you can get a better overview. So also the voice of each customer is important, because everybody can use an evaluation system to rate great services, and that also contributes to the fact that the trust and transparency of our blockchain technology of Infinity Economics can grow steadily. And then we also have associations and foundations. So the blockchain technology of Infinity Economics can bring you many benefits. For associations and foundations, i.e. Local gives you the opportunity to advertise free of cost, so that they can only have their presence online, but also in a future-oriented technology. And we also have different features for Infinity Economics, for example, crowdfunding. So you have the possibility to make some money and generate some money for your company. And we can advise you on that by way of our cooperation partners. Another point is also the implementation of an affiliate program to be able to have a bigger reach. So we can also have recommendations that can participate, and we plan to have about 20% of all affiliate. So 100% of that is going to be done by way of Xing. And of course, we should also have free of charge advertisement opportunities. So it's our goal to have digital economics of Infinity Economics and extend that so that all people all over the world have the possibility to be part of this transparent, fair, and decentralized system. And with a growing community, we can also contribute that we have more transparency and trust in the decentralized crypto world. So the world is going to look at us. The question is, where are you with your company? When do you want to implement your company in the blockchain technology? And when are you going to take the first step into the future? So this was just an example that was supposed to show you how you can implement your service or your company. Now, to wrap this up, we have one final question. So how can this service be implemented in the blockchain? So after we finish up the project, we got a final source code from the company with the IPA sources, and then we referred that, and then this code is going to be checked, and that way no bad codes are going to be implemented. And then it can be implemented in the blockchain. Those were the individual steps we took. So thank you very much for your attention, and we hope you have much success and inspiration for your own blockchain project.
Also es ist ganz einfach.
So it's very easy. 7 minutes and a project is on the blockchain. We're now at a point that the bad codes are being checked right now, and then in the very near future, it's then going to be available in the wallet. So iLocal, what is that? Well, iLocal is really, well, what do we do? Well, we have on our page the business directory. So it's the business directory of Infinity Economics. The main page looks as follows. And this main page says that you are supposed to find trustworthy and verified companies in the blockchain of Infinity Economics. So that means we bring customers to companies, and that can also be a customer or a community partner. So what we have here is we've created a tool that was developed in many different brainstorming sessions, and we focused on transparency. We all know that blockchain started on January 28th, and we had the e-governments, the voting, and during that voting procedure, we all voted together, and we voted that the assets are not going to be with a unique name, but a name can be copied. So I always wondered, Thomas, if I was to talk to somebody about Infinity Economics and they're also willing to exchange euros to Xing, and then they're using the wallet, and now in our wallet we have so many hundreds of assets that are available, but nobody really knows what's behind it, right? So maybe a very young person who might have saved some money, he might say, okay, this is all very interesting, and he might think that Infinity is great, all that is supposed to be great. No. It's still the internet. The internet, not everything is great, right? And even in a blockchain, not everything is great. Only what we make of it is great. But my personal approach was that I want to create something where we can help people to at least, well, we wanted to show them that there is a certain amount of transparency. Here's a Sirius company. Here's a entrepreneur who is very transparent to the outside world. He says, this is me, this is what I do with my company, and if you want to, you can do asset trading with me. And that was very important to me. And that was also the main thought of this business directory and how it came to be. So on this main page down here, we have 3 search boxes, and we have the possibility to find customers. We can also look for assets, and we can also look for currencies. And I'm going to show you how this works in just a second. So what you see up here on our website is that we have this introductory video. The website is going to be available in German, English, and Polish. So again, I would like to say thank you very much to the people who contributed to this being possible. If you access the page and you click on the introductory video, this is what you see. It's very brief. Everything is connected. I think there should be some sound as well. Everything is connected somehow, but do we always recognize the connections at first glance? Well, there's a new age of technology. Blockchain is really changing our digital world. So trade is going to be more efficient by way of blockchain than it has ever before. If you're a company and you're interested in blockchain technology, buy Infinity Economics and you are happy to accept challenges of today, well, you should set a strategy for the future in order to really have an advance and economic advantage versus others. So you should extend your reach online and you have to make your company more visible and more trustworthy in the decentralized world of blockchain technology. You should use your assets or currencies on the website and use IE Local, and you can make it where your company is in the best position. You can use that for your current and future customers, and you can also use it to let your customers know about specials with our very unique service. IE Local is a very important interface between blockchain technology companies and customers. We have proven standards and we bring more transparency, create more trust, and are more believable in this setting in order to drive trade. So we create more stability and trust, which are the most important factors when it comes to the success of a blockchain community and its partners. So please visit ie-local.com so that customers find trustworthy and verified companies. It is our goal to contribute to digital economy of Infinity Economics to grow so that all people all over the world have the possibility to have a fair, decentralized, and fair system that they can profit from. We'd like to welcome you very warmly on ie-local.com. So this page is also going to be available online soon. It's already active, more or less. It's already fully functioning and available to us. So as you saw in the video earlier, we already talked about 3 target groups. So first of all, companies, entrepreneurs. So we have the possibility to present your company here. Then we also have customers who can also rate a entrepreneur company. So you have to imagine if, for example, well, we don't have a cell phone on stage right now, but online what happens very often is that you can sell your cell phone. So let's assume you sold your cell phone online. You said, okay, let's do 300 euros for an iPhone. And sometimes these cell phones were sold, the money was paid, but the purchaser never received the cell phone, you know, and of course that's very bad. So what we have here is we said, okay, dear company, we're going to help you to make it where your assets are presented in the right way, and customers also support that. But the entrepreneur is also a customer for us because they might purchase something from the supplier at one point in time. And they might be happy with one supplier because they might say, okay, I sent my Xing and I also received the goods. And for some, I might have sent Xing and then had to wait 5 weeks until I got my product. So you have the possibility to rate them as well. And this rating system is going to be part of a review system because shitstorms online, that is something that's very present all the time. And we want to counteract that. We really want to protect people and companies, and we have to say, okay, sometimes you have to verify it, and we're going to do that in some type of way. Another very special approach was that we said, okay, associations and nonprofit organizations or foundations, and Norbert already talked about it earlier. All this is sort of like a phone book. Associations and also nonprofit organizations, they have to pay money for everything. And we have a technology at hand and that is also something that became very clear over the course of this day, is that they were a lot of millionaires that were created. And we just thought, okay, what's the main idea behind it? So we thought, okay, we have to give back, right? So we decided, okay, all the different associations, nonprofit organizations, and so on, if the functions that we have available on iLocal, if they are beneficial to them, they can get them free of charge. We also have different product building blocks. So you can have a part free of charge, and then you can also extend it where the entrepreneur can really create this package based on their need. And that is also something that's being developed right now. We also talked with Michael from Optimus Pay, and you also saw the ticketing system earlier. So that's really the idea that we have right now. We want to implement that. There are still some challenges we are facing right now. And what we want is that the entrepreneur can really only pay by way of Xing soon. So we have a search function. We have 3 areas, and I already mentioned that earlier. So we have assets, currencies, and if I click on the search box, what you see is an overview of the computer. So it's an overview like this, and we have a couple different highlights here. For example, the special offer. The special offer, so an entrepreneur can say, okay, from this point in time to this point in time, I'm going to have a special offer. You can do that. The little asterisks that you see here, the little stars, that's an evaluation system. That's also part of it. So by way of that, you can also figure out what kind of vendor you're dealing with right now, for purchasing decisions, of course. So if I click on details, then this whole thing looks as follows. So this is a text field where the vendor can describe all their services. They can just present their whole company here. And they can also do connections to Facebook, fan pages, to Twitter. So just links to YouTube channels and things like that. So all that is going to be completely connected. And if you use this possibility, you can't only be found online, but also there are search functions that are behind it. And yeah, like I said, there are search functions behind it, which make it possible for the customer to really find what you're looking for in our blockchain. What you see here, that is just a live search. Is also a very brief video. We shot that video because we didn't know exactly if we're going to have online access here, so I'm going to show you the video very briefly. Let me check which video it is. Is it already going on? Well, I'm going to click on search. So this is what you see. And you can see what's being offered here. We also have contact details here from the company. You can see a telephone number. I did not get a phone number from the foundation so far. That's why it's not implemented here. However, all the data that you need from the foundation is already there with all the different accounts. In terms of the Genesis process, this is something that is already published somewhere, and all of that can be found here. So it's completely transparent. What you see here are different functions. For example, you can implement or embed pictures, images. Right under it, there's also a map that's going to be up to date, and you can also see where are they close around me, for example. And we are very much in the beginning stages right now. However, we're taking it a step further. We're thinking ahead. And we're in the search function of currencies now. We have a couple different currencies, and that is also live from the blockchain. So I can click on this ID and see on the right-hand side the details to this currency. If I then click on the asset function, and that's what it all derived from, is that I also have the opportunity to have this asset idea that you can either get from the blockchain, so you can say you're going to copy it out because I want to know what kind of asset it is, and you implement it here, or you also have the possibility to just search here. So we have the IE local right here. The search function is way more advanced. It's blockchain inter. Some of you might have already noticed if I'm searching for an asset, I only get a certain amount of them. I only have an overview of 100 of them currently, so 100 pages. And what's very important is what we did here. So that is what we said earlier, what I said earlier. Can I click on it? Oh no, the video is running. So we have two assets where it says Infinity DAO, and the community made the decision way back when that yes, we're going to have this double name, and now we have Infinity DAO, and that is just selling hot air, if you want to call it that. And then we also have our shared Infinity DAO, where we can also implement the assets. So I now have the possibility by way of this name not working.
Wir machen es mal so. Nee, schaltet nicht. Schaltet nicht auf. Bei mir zu Hause geht das einfacher. Und nachher laut bleiben, dann machen wir nämlich noch den Schlusspunkt. Okay. Okay. Super. Dankeschön. Okay.
Okay, so we all know we have the possibility here to insert the asset ID, and then I get from the asset of the company, and we've done that with the Infinity DAO now. So if I insert Infinity here, it is then searching for the data from the blockchain, and I'm going to switch to German just now. You can see that we have 3 different languages here that are available. So I am now, okay. So this is Infinity DAO, and this is what I said earlier. The community was responsible, and we said in the voting procedure that we can have double names. So now somebody that's very new, they want to know a lot, right? Somebody that's very new that might have just read about it, and you might think, okay, I'm just going to go to Infinity. It's a great software. Just going to go there. They're going to see, okay, Infinity DAO, those are the assets. Those are the shares where I can be part of the blockchain. But what is he purchasing? Well, hot air. He's purchasing hot air. And that's exactly the point where we said, okay, we're going to have this verification process right here also for companies later on. So I can see, if I click on the asset ID, I can see all the details, and I have the possibility to use this button and get to the company right away, and I can now see the data of the company. So that means our infinity of our foundation. So that was a very important aspect for us that we focused on. We really wanted this transparency, wanted to carry it to the outside, to our community, to all of us, that if all this is going to happen in the future, people should have the opportunity to really find all these serious companies on our blockchain. Okay. another way of inserting this internally in our back office. That is something that was completely new to me as well. When Stefan came to us and he said, okay, we need something where we can also insert the SIG codes. SIG code, I said, what is that? In North America, what happens is there are those SIG codes. That's a code that includes the description of what they're doing exactly. And in North America, there must be a search function where you can differentiate between different companies and you can just search for them. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to look into that. We're going to implement that. And in the back of my mind, there were different things happening. I just thought, okay, why is somebody from core development coming to us and say SIG code, North America? So there is something that is just developing that's huge. So that's also something that we implemented. And we took on this possibility to also include companies from North America and find them. So that was really IE Local. Thank you very much for your attention. And I'm not as nervous anymore. And please, let's make Infinity into what it is. It's the next big thing, or as Americans would say, like I said, the next big thing. So help us, like everything, everybody at home, give us a heart, and everybody that's here in this room, this is our baby. And let's please carry it around the world together. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thomas, thank you very much. First of all, of course, for your work and so on. And you're going to have to help me now, otherwise I'm going to have the wrong slide later on. So, of course, this is a point that is definitely going to be helpful for us, especially in this area. And this is exactly what Marco and the group wanted. That's how they started. It's the so-called future group. And you can already tell that we can find our way together, even if many have never thought of it. So the so-called IE Local, for example, or the business directory is not only one of them, but it's definitely also, in addition to that, be supported by another activity. And ladies and gentlemen, what you're going to see here today for the very first time is the background of how IE Local and the business directory came to be. So we have another group, another company, because we're already wondering what these companies are doing. And this company is guiding us, is leading us in this area when it comes to Infinity Economics. And this company is called Sirius. And I cannot ask somebody else on stage. I am the final person on stage, and I'm going to introduce Sirius. And of course, we're going to do that in a fun way. Sirius is the so-called bridge between us and the future, and also Infinity Economics. Sirius, for that reason, came to be because we had people that you've seen today on stage, people who said, okay, we do a lot in this area, we are very innovative, but we also want to bring other people on board. And Marco already helped us with this so-called group, the future group. And he gave us the goal, and he really laid out the pathway for us. And of course, in the future, we are also going to collaborate in this area. So that means it's not necessarily who came up with it, but it's really we came up with it together, and that's what it's all about. So we're getting closer and closer to the Blockchain Technology Academy. We're getting closer to the business directory, and this directory is going to be supported by Infinity Economics and by way of Sirius. So what's the main idea? It's very simple. We already know that in our area of expertise, we're working with cryptocurrencies, and also blockchain that are going to be part of our future. And this part is something that we all need. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about, the features that we just saw. And we have the Blockchain Academy on the one hand, and we also have IE Local on the other hand. And we want to really build that bridge between those two aspects. Because what happened very often is that people know, okay, there is infinity, but what can I do with infinity? And what kind of possibilities do I have? And how do I come up with infinity? Because, I mean, you can find infinity, no problem, but how can I work with it? And that is exactly what we're going to do now. That's be supported by IE Local. So that means the so-called bridge, that's the bridge that I wanted to talk about, and we're going to extend that. We're going to extend that with our Sirius, and Sirius is really what we're doing here, and that's the bridge all over the world. And that's why we had that thought earlier, and also the message that we have the so-called academy that's going to be available worldwide. So it's not only somewhere around here, it's not only in a room where there might be 50, 60, 70, or 100 people, but instead it's going to be available worldwide. That's where we're going to have infinity economics. And if these people have the opportunity to do that via Sirius and then access infinity economics, then I would say these people are definitely going to recognize that we really have something very special. And usually that's exactly what it is. So we have the seed that was planted, and then people are going to be very surprised that they don't only see a coin here. What happened now? That I pressed something wrong. So they're going to see that's not only about a coin, but instead they're going to see, well, thank you very much for that help. So it's not only about one coin, but it's really about a system that is blockchain based. And if these people open the blockchain, they recognize what it is. So that means all others in this area are active somewhere with so-called payments and payouts. And if you look at this blockchain, you can recognize right away that this blockchain has a lot more than that. And that's exactly those working tools. And these working tools, if we use that and if we know how to use them, then people will understand in the future what is going to happen in the future of Xing, this currency, and also where it is right now and also which direction it's going to take. For that reason, of course, we're also accessible on this page, the pages that we all know. The home page on the top left corner. And we also have the forum and also the social media portal. That was the very first page of Infinity Economics, but it's very different now. That came from the community. And this community, or people are contributing to this community so that in the future we can use Infinity worldwide, different companies, but not only companies, but also authorities, states, and so on. So many different possibilities that we don't even recognize today. So you might have heard recently that, for example, Switzerland has a so-called e-voting system, and they spend a lot of money on that. And it's very simple because they could just use our blockchain. Then they're not going to have to spend this $250,000 that they're going to vote on next week. And that's exactly our point. We have to show them that. We have to show them what kind of paths they're going down and how they can actually do that with the help of Infinity Economics.
Economics. Time to make a decision.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So now I would like to almost wrap this up, to wrap today's day up, and to also wrap up this fantastic energy that we created today, but also with an energy that we can pass on. And I do think if we leave this room today then people are going to have many things stuck in their mind for a very long time to come. But at this point in time, let me just get back to Sirius for a minute. And if you talk about people who are in the background, I would really like to thank everybody and show you these people, because it is our need to show you who's behind it. Who can you talk about it in the future? And I know it's not all of them are here today, and not all of them are going to want to be on stage. However, I'm going to ask these people on stage who you saw already today. Thomas, you need to be number one for Sirius. Now, Berne and also Eugen, I would also like to ask you on stage, please show your faces. And we have Sirius, we created Sirius, but it came from an idea. And like I said, there's several other people who also contributed, but they don't want to be on stage today. And in the future, we are going to be working with these groups. We want to work with these groups. And we are also going to use this academy, and we are going to reach our goal of the future. So thank you very much to all of you, because you are working in the background, you're working very hard. And yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, have lots of fun in the future with your work. I know we're in touch with many others as well, and very often it's 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, but we like to do that for our community. You're very important to us, and that's what we're doing, all of that. So thank you very much.